Hey there, ready to jump into some awesome co-op platformers?
Yeah.
We've got a list of 10 of the best, and
Awesome.
since you're looking for games to play with a friend, we're going to break down what makes each one special for teamwork and fun.
Absolutely.
Unravel 2.
All right.
Imagine you and a friend are controlling these adorable little creatures made of yarn.
Oh, cool.
You're literally tethered together,
Wow.
using your yarn bodies to swing, rappel, and solve puzzles.
The yarn mechanic in Unravel 2 is more than just a visual gimmick.
Right.
It forces you to constantly think about your partner's position,
Yeah,
the length of the yarn, and how your actions affect each other.
I see.
It's a brilliant way to translate the idea of a close bond into gameplay.
It sounds like it could lead to some hilarious moments, especially if one of you is a little less coordinated than the other.
Absolutely. And the game encourages that kind of playful interaction. Plus, the visuals are stunning.
Okay.
Think lush landscapes, soft lighting, and a heartwarming atmosphere that really enhances the feeling of a shared journey.
I like it.
It's available on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch.
So it's a good one to keep in mind if you're looking for a more visually appealing and emotionally engaging experience.
Yeah.
As opposed to a more chaotic game.
Speaking of chaotic games, let's move on to Human Fall Flat.
Okay.
This one takes a completely different approach to co-op.
All right.
Instead of precise controls and strategic planning, Human Fall Flat embraces clumsiness and emergent gameplay.
Okay, you've got my attention.
Good.
I love games where things can go hilariously wrong.
Yeah.
Tell me more about Human Fall Flat and why it works so well as a co-op experience.
The controls in Human Fall Flat are intentionally wonky.
Your characters move like they're made of jelly,
Oh, wow.
which makes even simple tasks like climbing a ladder or carrying an object a comical challenge.
So it's less about skill and more about just having fun and figuring things out together.
Exactly. You and your partner are constantly trying to coordinate your movements, often with hilarious results.
I bet.
You'll be laughing at each other's stumbles and celebrating your clumsy successes.
That sounds like a good time.
It's a great game for players of all skill levels because the focus is on the shared experience rather than mastery.
And from what I remember seeing, the game has a really distinctive visual style too, right?
Yes, it has a minimalist, almost dreamlike aesthetic
Cool.
with these blank-faced characters and pastel-colored environments.
I like it.
It's both charming and slightly surreal.
Awesome.
You can find it on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, iOS, and Android.
Wow.
I really want you to play it with your friends wherever you are.
That's a lot of platforms.
From heartwarming yarn creatures to wobbly ragdoll humans, this list already has some great options.
It does.
But for something completely different in terms of tone and intensity, let's talk about Cuphead.
Ooh, yeah.
This game is notorious for its difficulty, but also for its incredible art style.
Cuphead is a visual masterpiece that pays homage to 1930s cartoons.
Cool.
The hand-drawn animation is incredibly fluid and expressive with vibrant colors and a retro aesthetic that really pops.
Yeah.
But don't let the cuteness fool you.
Right.
This game is tough.
Yeah, I've heard stories about people rage quitting Cuphead.
Yeah, it's challenging.
How does that intense difficulty translate to the co-op experience?
Well, the challenge is definitely still there, but playing with a friend can make it more manageable and a lot more fun.
Okay.
You'll be working together to dodge bullets, learn boss patterns, and revive each other when things go wrong.
I see.
It can be incredibly rewarding to finally overcome a boss that's been giving you trouble,
Right?
especially when you're celebrating that victory with a friend.
Yeah, for sure.
Cuphead is available on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, and even Mac.
So even though it's a challenging game,
Yeah.
the co-op mode almost makes it a different experience, right?
Right.
It shifts the focus from frustration to teamwork and perseverance.
Exactly. And the shared sense of accomplishment when you finally beat a tough boss is something special.
I can definitely see how that kind of shared struggle can bring people closer.
For sure.
Now, I know we're talking about co-op platformers, but I'm curious about the platforming itself.
Okay.
Are these games just about jumping and shooting?
Not at all. The games on this list have a surprising amount of variety when it comes to level design and mechanics.
Okay.
For example, let's take a look at Donkey Kong Country, Tropical Freeze.
Okay, Donkey Kong Country, that brings back memories. Isn't that a classic platformer with a more traditional approach?
It is, but Tropical Freeze adds some interesting twists to the formula,
Okay.
especially in the co-op mode. One player controls Donkey Kong, who's strong and can ground pound, while the other controls Diddy Kong, who can use his jetpack for extra height and hover.
So it forces you to think strategically about which character is best suited for certain obstacles.
Exactly. You might need Donkey Kong's strength to break through barriers,
I see.
while Diddy Kong's jetpack can help you reach hidden areas or collect hard-to-reach items.
Ooh.
You can play Tropical Freeze on the Wii U or the Switch.
It sounds like Tropical Freeze takes a classic formula and adds a layer of teamwork that forces you to really pay attention to your partner's abilities.
It's tough.
Now, I know you mentioned variety in level design, but I'm also curious about the overall tone and atmosphere of these games.
Okay.
Are they all lighthearted and fun? Or are there some that are a bit more intense or even emotional?
You've got a good point. The tone can vary quite a bit.
Okay.
Donkey Kong Country. Tropical Freeze definitely leans towards the lighthearted and fun side.
Yeah.
But there are games on this list that explore a wider range of emotions.
Oh,
Let's talk about Broforce, for example.
okay. Broforce.
Right.
I've heard the name, but I'm not quite sure what it's all about. What kind of experience does it offer in terms of co-op?
Imagine a game where you play as a team of hyper-masculine action heroes inspired by 80s and 90s movies.
Okay.
Think Rambo John McClane and Chuck Norris, all pixelated and ready to blow stuff up.
Okay. That sounds intense and hilarious.
It is. The action in Broforce is over the top and incredibly satisfying, especially in co-op.
Right.
You'll be blasting your way through levels, rescuing prisoners of war, and causing glorious mayhem with up to 4 players.
Wow.
You can even choose from a roster of different bros, each with their own unique weapons and abilities.
So it's more about embracing the chaos and having fun with friends than it is about strategic teamwork.
It definitely leans more towards the chaotic fun side,
Right.
but there's still a certain level of coordination required, especially when it comes to avoiding friendly fire.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You can find Broforce on PC, PlayStation Switch, and Xbox.
I love the idea of playing as different action heroes with unique abilities. That sounds like it adds a fun layer to the gameplay,
Yeah,
especially if you and your friends have a favorite action movie icon.
right.
But you mentioned a range of emotions, and blowing things up with your bros doesn't exactly scream emotional roller coaster.
Sure.
Is there a game on this list that explores a more sensitive side of the co-op experience?
There is, and it's one that might surprise you.
Okay.
Let's talk about Spelunky 2.
Spelunky 2, all right.
Now, on the surface, Spelunky 2 is a roguelike platformer known for its difficulty and its procedurally generated levels. But it's also a game that can evoke a surprising amount of emotion, especially when you're playing it with a friend.
So I wouldn't normally associate a roguelike with well feelings?
Spelunky 2 is a game about overcoming challenges together.
Okay.
But it's also about dealing with failure, learning from your mistakes, and supporting each other through those difficult moments.
Interesting.
The game throws all sorts of dangers at you. Traps enemies, environmental hazards, and death can come suddenly and often.
So it's almost like the game itself is designed to test your friendship.
In a way,
Yes.
you'll be cheering each other on when things go well, but you'll also be there to offer a virtual high five when one of you inevitably falls victim to a stray arrow or a misplaced jump.
I can see that.
It's that shared experience of triumph and failure that can create a really strong bond between players.
Oh, wow.
Spelunky 2 is available on PC and PlayStation, and it also has online multiplayer, so you don't have to be sitting right next to your co-op buddy.
It sounds like Spelunky 2 takes the concept of shared struggle to a whole new level.
It does.
And that can be a really powerful thing in a co-op game.
It can.
But I'm also curious about the other side of that spectrum.
Okay.
We've talked about games that are challenging and emotional, but are there any games on this list that are just pure, unadulterated fun, where the focus is on enjoyment and collaboration rather than overcoming obstacles?
Absolutely. And for that, let's look at Rayman Legends.
Rayman Legends, all right.
This game is a visual and auditory delight full of vibrant colors, catchy music, and incredibly fluid animation.
Rayman Legends, I remember that one.
You do?
Isn't it known for its amazing art style and its really creative levels?
Exactly. It's a game that oozes charm and personality.
Yeah, I remember.
And the co-op mode is seamlessly integrated into the gameplay.
Okay.
You'll be working together to collect lums, navigate intricate platforming challenges, and even engage in some really fun rhythm-based boss fights.
Rhythm-based boss fights, that sounds unique.
Some boss battles are actually set to music,
Wow.
and you need to time your jumps, attacks, and movements to the beat.
Cool.
It adds a whole other layer of fun and challenge to the co-op experience.
Oh, yeah?
Rayman Legends is available on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, Wii U, and even PlayStation Vita.
Wow, that's a lot.
It's been ported to nearly every modern platform.
Wow, it sounds like they really want everyone to be able to experience Rayman Legend.
They do.
I can definitely see the appeal. It seems like a game that's just pure joy to play, especially with a friend.
Let's shift gears a bit and explore a series that blends platforming with puzzle solving.
Okay.
Trine.
Trine.
Yeah, have you played those?
I've definitely heard of it, but haven't had a chance to dive in.
Okay.
What makes the co-op in Trine stand out?
The Trine games are known for their beautiful fairy tale-like visuals and their physics-based puzzles.
Nice.
But what makes the co-op truly shine is the way you control 3 distinct characters.
Oh, cool.
A knight, a thief, and a wizard.
So you're constantly switching between characters to solve puzzles.
Yes, and that's where the teamwork comes in.
Right.
The knight can bash through obstacles and fight enemies.
Uh-huh.
The thief can use her grappling hook to reach high places and create shortcuts.
Oh.
And the wizard can conjure boxes and platforms to manipulate the environment.
I can see how coordinating those abilities would lead to some really interesting puzzles and solutions.
It does.
It almost sounds like a co-op version of those classic adventure games where you had to combine items and use your wits to progress.
You're spot on. It's a game that encourages you to experiment, communicate, and think creatively.
I like it.
Plus, the visuals are stunning. Imagine lush forests, ancient ruins, and shimmering magical effects.
Yeah.
All rendered in a beautiful painterly style.
Very cool.
There are 4 games in the series so far, available on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch.
It definitely sounds like a game that would appeal to players who enjoy both platforming and brain-teasing puzzles.
Yeah.
And the visuals you described sound gorgeous.
They are.
Now, we've talked about games that are challenging,
Right.
games that are chaotic, and games that are visually stunning.
Yeah.
But what about a game that really focuses on the narrative aspect of the co-op experience?
You're thinking about Bokura, aren't you?
I am. It's the one on the list that really intrigued me from a storytelling perspective.
Okay.
It's not often you see a platformer that aims to deliver a deeply emotional narrative,
Yeah.
especially one focused on co-op.
Bokura is a special game.
Right.
On the surface, it's a simple 2D platformer about 2 boys exploring a fantastical world.
Okay.
But as you play, you start to uncover a deeper, more poignant story about friendship, loss, and the power of shared experiences.
So the gameplay itself is relatively straightforward, but it's the story and the way it unfolds through the co-op interactions that make it truly memorable.
Precisely. You and your partner each control one of the boys.
Okay.
And you need to communicate and collaborate to solve puzzles and navigate the environment.
Right?
But it's the subtle ways the game uses dialogue, visual cues, and even the level design to tell its story that makes Bokura so impactful. It's a game that stays with you long after you've finished playing.
Wow.
You can find it on PC and Switch.
It definitely sounds like a unique experience, one that I'm going to have to check out.
You should.
It's fascinating how developers are using the co-op format to tell stories that wouldn't be possible in a single-player game.
Absolutely. And speaking of pushing the boundaries of what's possible in co-op,
Yeah.
we can't forget to mention Portal 2.
Oh, right.
It's not strictly a platformer,
I see.
but it's a masterclass in cooperative puzzle design.
Right.
And it absolutely deserves a spot on this list.
Portal 2 is a classic.
It is.
I remember playing through the co-op campaign with a friend years ago, and it was an absolute blast.
Yeah.
The puzzles were so clever, and the writing was hilarious.
It's a great game.
Can you remind us why Portal 2's co-op mode is so special?
Portal 2 takes the innovative portal gun mechanic from the original game and applies it to a cooperative setting with incredible results.
Right.
You and your partner each control a robot equipped with a portal gun, and you need to work together to solve increasingly complex puzzles.
It's not just about shooting portals willy-nilly, though, right?
Right.
There's a real emphasis on communication and understanding your partner's perspective.
Exactly. You need to communicate your plans, coordinate your movements, and anticipate how your portals will affect each other.
I see.
Sometimes you're working together to create intricate chain reactions, and other times you're using portals to save each other from perilous falls.
Cool.
It's a game that truly requires you to think as a team.
And it does it all with a wicked sense of humor.
Right. Yes.
The dialogue between the robots is brilliant.
It is.
And the whole game is filled with these little moments of dark comedy.
Absolutely. The writing is top-notch, and the voice acting is superb.
Yeah.
It's a game that will make you laugh out loud, even as you're struggling to wrap your head around a particularly tricky puzzle.
For sure.
You can find Portal 2 on PC, Mac, Xbox, and PlayStation.
It's amazing how Portal 2 manages to be so challenging, so funny, and so rewarding all at the same time.
It really is.
It's a testament to the power of great game design.
Yeah.
And a reminder that co-op games can be so much more than just shared experiences.
Right.
They can be opportunities to learn to grow and to strengthen the bonds between players. Now it's your turn to choose your own path.
Exactly.
Grab a friend,
Yeah.
pick a game, and dive into a world of co-op fun.
And let us know what you think.
Yes, be sure to tell us which game you choose and what you think.
Yeah, we're always eager to hear from you.
Until next time, happy gaming.